All right, hey guys, Michael Griswold here, and hey, thanks for giving us your name and email address to send these videos to you. I'm here with my friend Mike Mosley.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Awesome.
Good. And this is video 1 in your 5-part video series on how to win your ex back. Micah, as I introduced him, we're a bit of co-conspirators in this project. We've been working on it for a while and working with people who wanted to learn how to get dates, and then afterwards working with people who've been broken up, which is how we got into this. So I guess what we'll start off with is, Michael, what are some of the big questions that people ask? Because you've been doing a lot of the research stuff on this thing.
Yeah, there is definitely a couple really big questions, and this is through our work through the dating community and through the Getting Your Ex Back community, which actually are very similar, because similars of attraction just cross all boundaries. And because of that, we really have found that there's some main principles that can be applied to almost every situation.
Of course, the particulars are going to be different, right?
Of course.
No two people's situation.
And somebody who tells you there's a line that's going to work every time, or a routine that's going to work every time, is full of it, because that's just not the case.
Right.
But as far as grounded principles to gaining attraction or to getting your ex back, they really are universal. And I thought for video 1 that we'd start at just the complete base, and that is a question that we hear all too often, which is, this came out of the blue, how did this happen? And by that I mean we get so many people who say, I have no idea why they broke up with me. This argument just blew up out of nowhere. Feels like a tidal wave hit me, and now I'm just left here with nothing to grasp onto, and I have no idea what to do. Mm-hmm. And I guess the question people have at the beginning is, this just hit me out of nowhere. What do I do?
Yeah, well, to answer the first part, what happened, I have no idea. And, the details of every breakup are different, as we know. But in general, the reality is that at some point, the relationship becomes more of a burden than it is a benefit, right? Because if it's more pleasurable than it is uncomfortable, then there's no reason to break up. Now, oftentimes that'll be because, even in just friendships, we've had situations where, you'll annoy me, I'll annoy you, and if that doesn't really, if nobody talks about that, that can kind of fester and build up, and that's what happens a lot of times in romantic relationships, which are even more heightened. And so instead of being able to talk about it, right, and say, hey, what you said really bothered me, people just kind of bury it, and then eventually just builds up, and then there's an explosion.
And that's when it turns into the nothing arguments and the excuses to go on breaks that are bullshit, they don't make sense.
Right, like, you ever heard that skit by Dan Cook about the supermarket, the jelly? If you haven't seen that, by the way, YouTube Dan Cook's jelly, the jelly skit. He talks about this couple who goes to the supermarket, and the guy's like, "Did you check to see if we have any jelly?" And the girl's like, "I don't even like jelly. Why would I do that?" And he gets all pissed. It's hilarious. YouTube it. Anyway, so
it's so true though.
Totally.
And everybody can relate to it on some level. So continue. Why else? Or what do you think people can do once they have these, explosions to get out of them? What's the next step?
Yeah, well, whatever happened, the details really are not as important as the effect, right?
For sure.
Because the effect is, okay, one party has said, I don't want to do this anymore. And dude, so often people will be like, the person that gets dumped, and rightfully so, is hurt and feels rejected, and then they do exactly the opposite of what the other person wants them to do, right? So they start, scratching and clawing and calling and texting, and really the best thing to do although the hardest thing to do, to be fair, is to just accept what's happened. And here's why. See, if you can imagine person A and person B, right? Let's say that the boy breaks up with the girl in this situation, and the boy doesn't want to see the girl anymore, but the girl doesn't accept it. They're really on different wavelengths, are they? They're really not talking the same language, because the guy is saying, I don't want to be with you, and the girl is saying, yes you do, or I still want to be with you. And there hasn't been a mutual acceptance, so they can't really communicate well.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step, the absolute essential step, if anything else is going to happen, is that the person who has just been broken up with needs to accept that that's the way it is for now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the key. Like, that's the way it is today. And that doesn't mean that's the way it's going to be forever.
Exactly, and that's not ambiguous or floating advice. That is just the essential step to moving forward.
I mean, because, what are you going to do, man? Like, if you tell a girl that you want to break up with her, but she's calling you, or a girl tells a guy she wants to break up with him, but the other person's calling and texting and calling, then there's just no ability to be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that really is a totally broad, all-encompassing tactic right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what you broke up for. That's what you need to do.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And if you guys are interested in the book, we do cover a lot of methods, tactics, practice sessions, things you can do to accept it, to get back to that calm, centered stage. A lot of things to get you going on the right track, just like, just a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, the exact details, there's our cat. It's thanks, Fang. The exact details are too much to go through in a short video,
Mm-hmm.
but
the principle exists.
Exactly. And of course, it's easy to say, hey, just accept it. And we're not meaning to imply that it's simple. We are, however, meaning to imply that it's essential. So, until next time, anything else?
No, that's it. Guess we'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, see you guys.